Okay, welcome back for the fifth and penultimate episode of Untangling Braid more now than ever, the mod. We're going to be exploring World 6, where things really get crazy with all of the simultaneous time powers, and the ring, which is so much more powerful, and you can just set the time multiplier to be anything you want, instead of always slowing things down to 1/5 speed, which is the rate at regular Braid. But first, we're also going to be dialing the self-indulgence variable up to the max by analyzing all of the text in world -5 ring singularity. Yeah. It's been so long since he began this process, Tim can hardly remember why he ever started. Everything is intermingled now. Were things ever as clear as they once seemed? The beacon of his devotion has long since burnt out. The wind has expired, and every river empties into the same glassy sea, a murky depth of sadness, nostalgia, and remorse. So this is about a bunch of things, but this is most of all about the experience of being a Braid superfan, or being a superfan of any game or any kind of finite thing like that, where you start out, right, just like the arc of the art of the worlds that I've talked about in the main series, where World 2 was like so inviting, and then it gets more somber in World 3, and then kind of like weird and off-putting in 4 with the blocks, and in 5 with like the domestic stuff, and then in World 6 it's almost like this mocking, like hyper-formal type thing. That mirrors the gameplay experience of like going from this exciting world with all this stuff to explore to like the last few hard puzzles, to like trying to find the stars, to like having played all of the normal like quote-unquote content in the game, and now you're like trying to cross-reference the text to figure out what something was referring to, or like reading something about Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project in order to catch some reference or understand something better. And making this mod took a long time, and I knew that like max like 10 people were going to play this game, right? It's been downloaded actually like 1,000 times, but the amount of people who have actually installed it and gotten through the game, like it's a handful, right? And so it's like I've already like kind of squeeze this thing for everything that it's got, so like why am I still here? Why am I still doing this? And part of the answer is like I just like the atmosphere. I just want to like soak it in. It's not all about new content and stuff. But anyway, so that's part of the context for this story. And the atmosphere of World 6 and regular Braid is like Tim at his most adrift, because remember in my backwards reading of the story, I say like 6 is where we start. Tim is like adrift, and then he first kind of catches on to the ring, or I don't know. I mean, you can kind of read the story both ways, but he's like first getting his feeling that maybe the princess is out there, or he's like at his most hopeless in World 6, and then as you count down, he gets more and more confident, and you can kind of read that both ways, either as him losing his faith, or you can read it backwards as him like kind of getting closer onto the track of things. But anyway, so for this world in More Now Than Ever, it's about like he's looking back, he's examining all this stuff, he's turning over all the stones, right? In this mod, we've been recombining all the different puzzle elements, but it's been a long road, and so it's kind of about the exhaustion of that. Yeah. Dredging up any new thought is an effort. Without the lift and structure of a central keystone, moments pile up undifferentiated, like rubble. Each new layer of debris interacts with all the previous strata, adding suffocating weight and slowness. Their combination makes it increasingly difficult for Tim to get what he needs. So this, besides the little textual references...
So this is like digging deeper and deeper into something, like trying to find more value, but there's just less and less.
Well, it's actually, stuff is being piled up, right? So the analogy is that each puzzle is like a stone that's from the epilogue of original Braid. They're like building blocks in the castle, but it says without the central keystone being his fundamental understanding of like the princess. You know, like in the story, he's at world -5 now. He's been contemplating the epical events of the twist ending in Braid for like 5 worlds now, but it's still not quite together for him in this story. And so he just has all this stuff, but it's like with the keystone, he could like make it into a real castle. He could understand his situation, but instead he just has all of this. This is like kind of hating on the project of Braid more now than ever, which is like, it's just gonna be more stuff. I'm gonna layer even more constraints,
Right.
like all the text. It's gonna talk about Tim's upbringing. It's gonna talk about the physics in each world. It's gonna talk about the season. It's gonna reference little things like increasingly difficult for Tim to get what he needs. It's all going to be like remixed out of the original like bones of regular Braid, and it's like each new constraint, the combination is slowing him down even more, and the layers are also like the puzzle layers, right? So in the previous world we had the experience of turning on multiple puzzle mechanics, and now we're going to add the ring, which literally slows everything down, but also it's like there's the design constraints and like the number of different crazy mechanics in play are sort of like making things heavier and heavier rather than more and more free and open.
Less clarity, more just like too much.
And one of the things that I love doing in More Now Than Ever was sticking really closely. As much as I make fun of like the wackiness of like naming the world's negative numbers and stuff, like I tried to stick super closely and fit everything in with like the formalistic rules of like what's cool and what's not according to original Braid, versus the other mods. We might film a few at the end of this series because there's some really cool stuff in the other mods, but some of that really cool stuff I didn't put in precisely because like the art style was too wild, or like it just was not the kind of thing that it felt like Braid was about, like a really cool platforming challenge level that isn't a puzzle or something, you know? So anyways, that's the idea of like the new layers, like the history and everything adding up and just creating this slowness and
you did try to make every puzzle be a different mechanic, so you wouldn't just like repeat things. Of
course. But this is about that experience. Even when every puzzle is a new idea, is that, you know, at some point
you're still kind of
there are combinations of the old ideas and things like that. Soon the constraints will overlap completely and all motion will be impossible. Tim float. That's an allusion to the fact that one of the levels in here is going to have a ring that freezes time completely, but also, of course, soon the complaints will overlap completely. Like, there'll just be so many constraints, like I won't be able to write any more text because there'll be so many constraints on it. You know?
You could write because they all have to be satisfied.
Tim floats in directionless stillness. His last hesitant movements cease with the overturning of the last stone. But one critical piece is still missing, and Tim's drifting thoughts are drawn by the gravity of that unseen center. Buried deep underneath this mountainous jumble of interconnected musings, there's something even heavier, the ring, right, representing the princess and all this, kind of the thing at the center of it all, that both regular Braid, by keeping it until the twist ending, and More Now Than Ever with the same format, kind of orbiting around but not talking directly. A ring long tucked away, the monster, the princess, and Tim. An instant of realization, the trifoil nucleus at the heart of it all. Tim can feel reverberations gathering as he juggles those old threads of meaning, processing ellipses through a patchwork of loose connections and frayed memories. But he's still too far to look upon her directly. Her singular radiance is yet to dawn, still hidden beyond the horizon. So this has this is like something that would never come across in the text, but I have like two kind of metaphor visions that are going through here, besides of course the like atomic bomb thing. So feel reverberations gathering, you feel reverberations after something happens, right? But Tim's living backwards in time, so this is that imagery about what would it look like to the other residents that flowed contrariwise, you know, it would be a perfect palace in the beginning. Like, it's like the reverse explosion. He's like feeling the aftershocks, he's feeling the castle about to assemble itself because he's getting closer to this, thinking about this event again. But aside from the atomic bomb stuff, so there's two other things. The first image is this weird image of being on a boat, which like there's some weird being on a boat imagery in The Witness from like an abandoned story in The Witness, so I feel like that's kind of nice, I guess. But like the wind has expired, he's every river empties into the same glassy sea. This is like, I think I must have subconsciously been thinking of these paintings called The Voyage of Life by the American artist Thomas Cole in the 1800s when I was like making this. So I have the first book or two of More Now Than Ever in each of these is sort of like a coming of age story. I'm going to exit this world for a moment just so you can follow the thread. So in the very first world, it like starts with his childhood. He's like, he was a happy, well, this is like all this crazy stuff. Like, I need to go forward and reconsider each moment. But then it's like, okay, once upon a time, Tim was a child. Everything was simple. He just believed in his parents' values. It was totally straightforward. There were no questions. Everything was great. Just like the happy, nostalgic children's worlds.
Then he finds like flaws in the models.
Yes. He finds all these flaws. He's like, this, you know, now I'm like living in this world of doubt. I like don't know what to believe. I'm uncertain. This is sort of like where Tim is at in like maybe like in like world 6 of regular Braid. Like he's hesitant. He's choosing between all the different life paths. There's all those creepy statues of the different careers. It's like, what do I do? My parents' values and the values in the mainstream world, like I can't believe in those because I've noticed these problems with them. But like, what will I do next? And he starts to get on the scent of the princess and this idea that maybe there's this enlightenment-esque, like magical element to the world, this escape or this true path or something that will like break the arbitrariness and like be the way to knowledge and
stuff.
And
the ring appears here.
Yes. Sometime around then that he began to wear the ring. And this is all like remixed from stuff in World 6 and other stuff. So he kind of gets onto the scent. And then Tim told himself that he had discarded the arbitrary, meaningless values which had steered his youth, but the rigidity and obsessive determination with which he had adhered to those laws, those remained, seeking only a new expression, a reformulation along fresh axioms, which is a joke about how relativity was like a reformulation where different things were strict and different things were abandoned. But it's also, or not a joke, I mean, it's a reference to it, but now he doesn't just have the scent of like possibly there's some enlightenment. Now he's like transformed into like the truly zealous truth seeker guy, right? And I mean, this is all looking back. So like this is like retelling the story. So like if the last text corresponded to like world 6 of regular Braid, now he's like much closer to the princess. This is about how he's like zealous and like on the chase. This is like Tim around like world like 2 or 3 or something. When he's like, yeah, she's been snatched by a horrible evil monster. I'm gonna go get her back. I'm the cool guy who can learn all the truth and understand the universe. And then in World 5, he's looking back afterwards and thinking like, that seemed like such. So in the Thomas Cole paintings, there's like this little baby in a cart that's like at the beginning of life that's just like not under any control. There's like a little angel. That's like when he's just living under his parents' values. And then he's like this confident young man steering, and he's steering towards this like crazy mushroom cloud palace, like Taj Mahal type thing that he sees as this like vision of ambition of the young man, you know? And that's like Tim, the like zealot, totally going after the princess, and he thinks he's found the one true path. And then later there's like this guy who's like freaking out because actually the one true path was BS, and he's about to like go down some crazy rapids. That's like the 3rd out of 4th painting. And here Tim doesn't have quite that experience. Well, I mean, he kind of does, right? Because the confrontation with the princess is this like sort of like a catastrophic kind of like apocalyptic revelation. So he kind of has that experience, but he also looks back and realizes like, wait, like I thought this was the one true path when I was like this young zealot, but now like it seems like there's so many different things. Yeah, like there's so, you know, like I felt like I was just I had the scent, I was like tracing the one path, the path wove through his life story, the field lines of awe and inspiration would draw him there, like a powerful current, right? Like the guy in the current. But now he's like, well, the wind is blowing in a lot of different directions. It doesn't seem reasonable. Like, I thought I had found this one thing, but now it seems like maybe things could have gone a different way, or could they have, you know? And he's wondering about that. And there's this metaphor of like the gust. It's like he's on a boat being blown around. What if he had sailed in a different direction? And then, so now in this final world, everything has expired. His devotion is burned out. He's emptied onto the glassy sea. This is like the final Thomas Cole painting, where there's this flat sea at the end of his life, and there's like no energy left, right? Like all the potential energy of like the glacier and the water and stuff, it's all like flat. It's all, the water has gone down to sea level. Now it's not going to move anywhere. It's just over. So anyways, one part of it is that it's about like a kind of lifespan of like an obsessive interest, and the metaphor of the boat and the Thomas Cole painting and all that. Then another metaphor, which is specific to this world's, this ring singularity chapter, is the idea of like, again with like the end of everything, everything's mixed together, right? It was Braid more now than ever. All the ideas are mixed. The state is like getting into this state of confusion. Like there's so many references, there's so many different layers, there's like so much meaning has been put in here, but it's like been chopped up in a blender. And, you know, it's like everything is this kind of unclear mush now. And that, in this chapter, there's like a bit of a physics tie-in, right? Just like the previous worlds. And this is like at the end of the universe, right? The glassy sea, every river has emptied. This is like the heat death of the universe, where like everything is burnt out. It's totally the end. All the energies have been expended. And what hangs out, but there's one thing left. There's this super heavy singularity at the center of everything, like the one mystery. Like maybe you're a human, this is like a weird story or image, but I made this mod, so I'm just gonna go on about it. So there's like, imagine you're a human and you figure out anti-aging drugs, and you avoid
Okay.
You avoid,
you're there.
Yeah, you avoid like existential risk. The Earth never has a nuclear war, and you upload your mind onto a computer, and then you grow and learn, and you have these amazing experiences, and you live as part of this galactic civilization for like 1 trillion years, just partying on your computer with all your computer bros who have also been uploaded. But eventually the stars will all burn out, and there will be no more, energy to do the computations, and you'll be sitting there at the end of the heat death of the universe, and it's like literally floating in stillness, right? Because you're in, where is that line? Floats in directionless stillness, last hesitant movements cease, like that you run out of energy for computation at the end of the universe. But it's like, and there's one, and it's like basically there's no more possibility for life at all, like even according to any physical law. But there's this one last mystery. You still haven't cracked the mystery. Like, what is consciousness? It's been 1 trillion years, and you still don't know why the universe exists, or like all these most fundamental philosophical questions, the kind of enlightenment that Tim has been after. Even though you have lived for so long and turned over every stone and had every possible experience, there's still like this unanswered question. And one in this situation would realistically just have to go to one's death and wonder about, like, is there some kind of reincarnation? Is there, like, what makes the universe real? When I die, will the universe disappear because I'm the last one? Things like that. But in a kind of, and realistically, jumping into a black hole is like a kind of like interstellar Christopher Nolan type move that probably would just be yet another way of dying and wouldn't be particularly exciting or connected to, but
no interstellar civilization.
Yeah. But this is where I go with the metaphor, because this is a little, this is a tacky mod, so we can do it. Is like, what's left at the end of the universe? There's you who's lived for 1,000 years, and then there's like sort of the one remaining thing personified, like death personified, but also this unanswered mystery personified, like the black hole. Like, we don't know exactly how it works because we can't, it's such extreme physics that like we can't predict, like the theories don't generalize to like a singularity, and so there's different theories about like, is a singularity literally infinitely small and infinitely dense, or is it, you know, have some finite thing? But like maybe if we could like go into a black hole or something, or somehow get measurements of it, then we could understand physics and create like a better unified theory of physics, and maybe that would lead us to understanding these bigger philosophical questions somehow, you know, because we could finally kind of break out of our current limits of knowledge. But in order to understand that, you can never get those measurements from the black hole because it's hidden by the event horizon. If you jumped in there, you know, you'd have a millisecond falling into the thing, and then it would be over for you. So anyways, it's about this last final mystery, which is like at the center of all the important questions.
Just like what's on the other side, like what's...
Yeah, like what's on the other side, but like it's been a thing that you've been avoiding. You've been looking at everything else, right? Because right after this world, we're gonna go and like finally revisit the confrontation with the princess. So this text, it isn't really even about these puzzles. It's like about the princess stuff that comes after. I mean, the stuff about the constraints overlapping is about the puzzles. But then this, it's like there's something even heavier. It's like he's turned over every stone, everything he's exhausted, and he's like, but wait, there's this one thing that I have been avoiding, which yet is the most central to everything. And it's like the black hole at the end of the universe or something. The giant supermassive black hole that's pulling everything. It's like the only thing left, so it's just its gravity is slowly pulling everything in. Even everything which is exhausted all motion is just being pulled by gravity towards this hidden center. And so this is about him. This last paragraph that I'm moving over now is about him like falling into it, right? So she's the triform nucleus at the heart of it all. Precessing ellipses is like the orbits as he kind of spirals in closer and closer. And it's also about the spiraling thoughts. Like he's thinking about it over and over again.
I was gonna say, this is like back when there's flaws in the models, whatever. It's like, I found the model that works, and then like eventually it's just like, but there's just like these things just like won't line up. There's something else out there.
Yeah. He's still too far to look upon her directly. Should have been an extra her in there. Obviously because she's like a god, and also because her singular radiance is yet to dawn, still hidden beyond the horizon of like the black hole or something. Or in the atom bomb interpretation, like the bomb is about to go off, but it's still kind of night, right? The kind of dawn of the atomic bomb going off hasn't happened yet. Anyway, so that's that crazy far future image that like is in my mind when I read this text, even though it's just like a couple of keywords here and there. Alright, redshift, another reference to black holes and stuff. So we got the ring, just your classic ring. This is a nice puzzle, actually, I guess by me. Whoa. Because there otherwise is not a puzzle in the pit. This famously is like the pit question mark in regular Braid. Anyway, so with that, you can escape the fireballs with the differential slowness, because you start out, a lot of questions about in Braid are about like desyncing from things. I'll just go right back into this world and show it again. Here, like it's like, well, I could just run and it doesn't help, or I can slow things down and it doesn't help. You know, now everything's playing out at 1/5 speed. How does that help me? But just like in classic Braid's World 6, when you put some distance between you and the ring, then the fireballs have the same, you know, they start off slow and they go fast, just like Tim, but the cannon fires at a slower rate because it's permanently slowed down to 1/5 speed. So anyways, that's the trick with that. Just kind of classic, conventional ring puzzle. All the other ones will not be. So now we have the panel that turns you green. So there's obviously no way to get past here. It's like a constant wall. Like you literally can't stand in the door to open it because there's just a constant wall of fireballs coming through. So you gotta pull that same trick. and you get back the ring. See, there's no way to get back the ring without this green panel, because you'd have to run back there and remove it, but then it would fire too fast. Yeah, so this enables you to like grab back the ring by going back to the first moment of the game.
Before you set it down.
And then you can just place a handy dandy, you know, you place your ring down here and slow down the cannon again. But now you got a new problem, which is that this guy is now firing at normal rate instead of at 1/5 rate. So there's a lot of these, which would just kill you if you if you were slowed down. You would just have absolutely no chance of running through there. But the green saves you again, because when Tim is green, he's not affected by
the ring.
Yeah, so you can just, if you have some agility, just run through and it's fine. Frame dragging, another black hole reference. Alright, this is a great one because in regular Braid, it's a slowy down thing, and you put it over here. But first of all, that's green, so it's not going to work. And second, the ring speeds you up now. You just changed the variable from 0.2 to 5. And now you're just playing reverse Braid. So, kind of hilariously, there's not really any time manipulation. You just gotta run back and forth.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast like Sonic, so... And then you get hit by Goombas down here, because things are literally going 5 times speed,
Faster
so you, like,
than you can
it's like
move.
impossible to time. Event Horizon!
Right, see, in that
Really
level,
landing on thick
you
here.
were... yeah. In the
Alright.
previous level,
And-
the time mechanic was that you, in the real world, had to go faster in order to keep up.
Yeah, I think frame dragging is kind of a reference to, like, yeah, it's like you slow down this, and so it's like, basically, yeah, it's kind of like just a different perspective, right? Here you're playing 5 times faster, and this is going down at normal speed versus this going down at 1/5 speed, and you playing at normal speed. So, anyways, Event Horizon, a great one. The ring here is real tough. It just
All it does is stop you.
It completely stops time, and it's just the greatest. You can only make a limited number of puzzles about a ring that completely stops time, because you can't jump or move or do anything. You can just kind of do the arrow
Wobble.
keys, yeah. But you can do some fun stuff. So like this cannon just fires a cloud every like 10 seconds or something, but it just takes a long time to fire the next cloud. But that's okay, because you can just wait for the next cloud to show up by freezing the cloud in midair. And of course, nothing can ever touch you as Tim, because it hits the event horizon, which is like halfway in, and then just gets stuck
stops.
there. So I could
Yeah.
just I could like let a lot of clouds pile up potentially. They'll all stop at that
Same event horizon, yeah.
Oh. So you just kind of gotta hop it along, getting a little bit closer with each hop, which is just such a great twist on. I mean, oh man, come on.
Gonna land on the cloud.
Yeah.
Alright. I think you need to have them approaching you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And these clouds are even going so fast that you can't make forward progress if you like.
No.
Like, I'm already like doing the double jump. But yeah, like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, close.
Yeah, you're almost standing still when you run forward.
Oh no, now I gotta wait so long for that cannon to fire.
Oh, it's slowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I love clouds, I love the phase puzzles, I love Braid's habit of remixing the things, and I love that Not Great. Oh, I was able to do it first time. How funny. And I love that Not Great came up with this amazing design for doing it even more. Like providing yet another twist on the phase puzzle. Alright, so this variation is unlike the totally hellish version of this that we played in World 3, where we got stuck with the Goomba forever and trying to get him past all his locks. This is a similar kind of deal, except that now the cannon only lets there be one cloud at a time, and it'll only fire a new one. You see that short
If
little
it's
fuse over there?
destroyed, yeah.
After the old one gets destroyed, the moment it gets destroyed, the new one pops out. Boom. So obviously freezing things is a no-go, and you can't just like freeze something right here because
So you want to freeze the cloud midway and then just hop across?
yeah, I mean, well, but it's too far. It is too far. Yeah, I mean, if it was possible to freeze the cloud midway and just do a hop, then you wouldn't need the ring for it, right?
Well, the ring would be freezing it somehow. But if you drop the ring at all...
No, because then you never get another cloud.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, just if it's midway, one cloud, hop, hop.
Yeah. Well, but... I mean, you can do a single hop without the cloud dragging you back at all.
Okay, yeah. So you can't do it.
Yeah. But we got this green up here, and the green enables us to do this wonderful thing. We can place the ring that freezes time. Wait, before that was just an inconvenience that we were slowed down. But here, the ring is really a death sentence unless you have this panel that turns you green. And so now, the green panel lets you escape from the ring, and then you can do this cool thing where you get to have the fun of approaching the event horizon. If you jump too close, you'll just freeze by touching the event horizon of the ring, and you'll not be able to come back down, at least not for a very long time. So you've got to jump quite carefully, because if you jump...
But also look at, like, you travel forward.
So you got to make sure that you don't get too close. And you're still able to...
you will make these giant, long
So I'm going to skip this one.
Yeah.
But hopefully still come out in time. So you gotta learn to do a new kind of freezing time. Instead of freezing it by holding the shift key, you just are like doing your air control just properly.
Yeah, I start dropping out. Sure. Nice.
There we go. Boom. Alright. So that key gets us down here.
Which doesn't seem like a good place to be.
No, it's not a great place to be. We'll come and check it out.
Green. Yeah, there you go.
Alright, so what we got here is a lot of Goombas, and you can't jump on them, it's too short to jump in there. I kind of like the little patterns that they make in terms of which ones are like slightly in front of the others, if you watch really closely.
Yeah, they're snaking.
Like they're, yeah. yeah. So... Anyways, so there's a puzzle piece in there, and we have to walk up the ladder and walk over here and have there not be a billion Goombas there, right? But one kind of cool thing is that we can phase those Goombas. Look at that. All the ones that are inside the zone travel at 0 speed. So everybody phases together and gets all caught up. This happens in normal Braid with the regular ring, but it's so much more dramatic when the ring literally stops time. Now, of course, we have Goombas going in both directions.
But they're kind of close.
Yeah, so we gotta fix that. But that'll be simple to remedy.
Oh, right, all on one side, I see.
So we have, like, I don't know how many Goombas in there. Probably, like, 50 Goombas. And now they're all gonna be lined up just right. So that's a lot of fun. Look at that. From 50 Goombas down to, like, 1.5. But now we have a type of problem with these damn fireballs, and there's obviously not much we can do about that because we can't move, right? Except look at that. The 2 fireballs come close enough that they annihilate each other.
So you have a perfect shield.
Yeah, so you just gotta wait and kind of parallax those 2 fireballs together.
Oh, you're gonna have a problem. Oh.
Actually, I made it.
Okay.
You can climb in there.
Good.
I was trying to go down,
at an impasse.
but Alright, we'll follow him this way. That'll make more sense.
There you go.
Just a single Goomba in there.
Oh, we made it far enough in for the music to go crazy.
Oops. Not quite enough. If you catch them too far, then they will not explode. Yeah, there's some nice music in this game. Yeah, it's all new music in all these levels. Some of it sounds quite similar to the Braid stuff because I was using similar songs from Jamie Cyber and Shirakaman and stuff, but there's also some new ones. There's a few songs that I found out about from other Braid mods. There's World 4 has a great like chiptune lullaby version of the Song of the Sun, like main Braid theme. It's wonderful. Anyways, on to the next one. This one is a really weird one. It's another ring that stops time, only the radius is huge, so it stops the entire world. So normally the Braid puzzles are all about the differential slowing of the ring, but this one is just the ring just stops time everywhere, just totally pauses time, which would obviously just be equivalent to like pausing the game, you know, or like freezing it with the shift key, except that we've got a lot of green panels everywhere. So that is nice, right? So like these clapping guys are, I think, too fast. Yeah, they're way too fast to try and jump over. But you can just freeze things like this, and it's great, you know. Except if you spend too much time,
I forgot.
because remember the green platforms only give you that little bit. So that's why this puzzle world is called movement quantified. Oh, remember, you can get the ring back just by rewinding to the beginning of the level, right? Before you ever place the ring. Why is the ring? Alright, so I'll let a little bit of time elapse. And then come over here, and then just rewind to when it is in place.
Yes.
The reason this is called movement quantified, and the reason that I'm happy to have made this level, is that in some interview, Jonathan Blow once talked about how he experimented with a lot of different worlds. Like there was a version of World 4 where like time went up when you were like time was linked to the vertical axis instead of horizontal, but like obviously there's just not as much of a difference, and you don't do as much vertical travel even in Braid as you do horizontal.
So you'd like climb up a level and be like, okay, now I'm in this time period, and you run around back and forth in the frozen world.
Yeah, it was just like not worth having its own thing. It would have been sweet if I could have figured out a way to like somehow rotate that, do like a vertical World 4 level, but I don't know, I wasn't able to figure it out.
So you designed this level. And...
Yeah. So anyways, so there were a lot of different variants of different ideas, and one of the things that that Jonathan Blow said he experimented with is having a level where time was quantized, right? Because in real life, there's like physics theories that are like maybe there's a Planck interval of time. And so, yeah, it was like a turn-based game almost. Like you'd press the sideways key and Tim would run sideways a little bit, you know, but you could only go a fixed distance. Yeah, exactly.
That's lifetime.
No, like Crypto Necrodancer or something. Yeah, so like you'd be moving in steps, jumping in steps, the Goombas, everything. And of course, it'd be very frustrating where you have things that would just not quite overlap or something. But that like turned out to be lame, or it was like hard to build a puzzle around like platforming by only getting an input every once in a while. So we didn't get it in, but this kind of brings back that idea in the sense that you only have like an extra second to move, because if you take too long, then you're just frozen in place.
Right. So how are you gonna get up there? Like you have to go so far.
Yeah. Well, the trick for even ever escaping this... Oh, I guess you can reach here, because I wanted to give players some like the ability to traverse. But I don't even know if you can go back. Alright. Let's see, this might be a problem for us, actually. But anyway, so of course you can rewind to a time before the ring was placed. Yeah, there must be a way to. Anyways, I'll just exit and enter the world. So you can go across, you can get the ring back, and the secret to getting this puzzle piece up here is that same trick that we were talking about in that final level, the swapper, of of the previous More Now Than Ever world, where you still are green for a little bit, and that includes your ability to rewind. So what you can do is place the ring. Oh, damn. What you can do is wait a little bit with the ring not placed, slap it down, and then you can be rewinding as you're jumping around and stuff, and thus free yourself from the quantizedness.
Oh, you can pick up the ring again.
Yeah, because you're rewinding while you're just like not standing on the green
Right.
panel, but you're still green.
Yes.
So we'll do the same thing here. There we go.
I see.
Yeah. Now, of course, this actually, now we can't get past this guy.
Right.
It's too fast.
Yes.
So we'll go through it one more time. Alright. So here we have a Goomba ladder. This is kind of interesting because normally you could never... The Goomba is shot... earlier I was talking about how you have a faster terminal velocity than Goombas. That's true if the Goombas are just falling off of a platform, but here they're being shot downwards, and it takes some time for Tim to build up to his terminal velocity, which he obviously doesn't have in the very short... Oh no. Oh no. Okay. But if you freeze this Goomba in midair at the right height, you can get a little jump platform because you're still jumping around. So the fact that he's like plunging downwards at a way too fast to catch terminal velocity.
So you can't just do that by timing, you have to do that by
No,
freezing.
you can't. I don't think you can because the Goomba's just going down. Oh man, also that's gonna happen.
Oh, sorry.
Because you can't properly rewind when you're standing.
Yeah, because you're
But
green.
no, I think it's actually impossible to bounce on a Goomba that's like going down faster than you are, because you can't literally catch up with like the Goombas look round, but like the hitbox is actually a square, so you do have to land squarely on the head. You can't like bounce off. All right. So this like looks like it's gonna be some kind of super tricky puzzle here with this this little fireball. It is actually not that tricky. So
Why can't you just freeze and look across?
yeah, well, there's usually a
'cause there's
fireball in
always
the
a
middle,
fireball
and
in the
of course the clouds mean that you can't make any progress. The clouds are going faster than you. So very screwed up situation. You gotta wait for the fireball to not be in the middle so that you can actually have a straight shot across. And of course, if you try and get the key and just run back, then like it's over for you. You freeze halfway through because your green immunity only lasts for around a second.
Yes. Can you walk to the other side? and
Yes,
get to the green
yes,
panel?
exactly. So the trick is just... Oh dear, not this. Okay, fortunately, you can take down the ring. The trick is that you gotta come right out to the edge of the green panel, and also right out to the edge of the fireball about to hit you. And then, just like you said, you can just go runway, recharge, and then back the other way. And then you gotta jump out of there. Oh, and then one more little boom bounce. Sure. Oh wait, except I probably oughta. That's funny how the keys separated. Oh wait. Oh, maybe I can. No. Okay. So I've gotta.
I think you gotta do it while rewinding, so you get that little extra
Yes,
time.
I've gotta get the. Well, I have to rewind. I've got to rewind to get the ring back. Tricky. There we go. So I was rewinding during my jump, even
Yes,
while I was
because you were
bouncing on the
green, yes,
Goomba,
yeah.
to reclaim that ring. Alright, nobody down here, I don't think he's too important. It's a low jump from that button. Alright. These guys are kind of funny. They'll just sit there. There's no way past them. So
I'm asleep.
the trick is simply to just put down the ring so they don't have any time to wake up. Okay, so that's movement quantified. Broken synchrony. This is another remix of one of those great, very remixable Braid levels. And yeah, this is fun. So now we have the introduction of the World 4 stuff. We're going back and forth. It's x equals t, except that the whole premise of the World 4 stuff is that everything is all tuned up. All these deterministic events, as long as they're not sparkly green or, you know, controlled by, you know, or it's in the shadow world or something, that everything is going to be synced up and play the same backwards and forwards. But now we can place the ring down, and we can like differentially slow stuff down as normal, but in the World 4 rules. So that enables some nice puzzles. Except, of course, the placement rules are weird, just like the key is weird, the ring is weird in World 4. So it's like Fickle Companion, Redux. For some reason, you have to be moving in order to even have the option of changing the ring. You can see how the radius slowly expands as you go forward, and then as you take it away. And of course, if you walk back in time to before you place the ring, then you get it back in your pocket. So we face, just like in the earlier in World 4 of More Now Than Ever, we had the same thing where there was like a Goomba. That was like a more modified, so it was hard to tell that it was like aping this design. But anyways, it was the same thing where the Goomba comes out and just bops on your head, and you're like, damn, I'm screwed. How do I get out of here? And the solution was to recruit a little bunny to like come and kill the Goomba for you. But in this case, there is like not a way to do that because the bunny just jumps over there, and there's no way to like engineer a different combat situation because he just wakes up like. You know, he just wakes up right here. There's nowhere you can be besides this. You can try like using the ring somehow, but then the bunny is like so slowed down. So the bunny is but see, now what happens there is not the bunny does anything, but just that the ring slows down the cannon. Oh, yet another. There's just so many things with it. You see, I'm not slowed down at all by this. I can just run at normal speed regardless of whether I have the ring placed or not, because it's World 4, right? So it's, I mean, this is a little bit bugged. Like, technically the rest of the world should speed up when I'm doing this, because, like, when I step forward, I'm experiencing my own subjective time, but, like, the rest of the world should be running in super speed. Anyways, that's not implemented. Go take it up with Jonathan Blow. But I just get to run at normal speed, so that's, like, this thing that enables me to get way ahead of the Goomba and desync from what otherwise is an unavoidable bop on the head. Except there is another issue, right? So, okay, I can do that, but like, spoiler alert, all these other puzzles require the use of the ring. Like, I can't get past this guy, you know? And so how am I going to get the ring back? Because if I get it back, then I'm back to the situation. Yeah. Well, the secret is to note it, and this may be kind of a harsh way to first teach it. Yeah. But if you place that ring with just a wee bit of
distance between you and the ring.
If you place it as far to the right as you can, then you can bounce up, go to the moment before you place the ring, and kill the Goomba.
Wow,
yeah.
that's a timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, so that there's a lot of kind of broken, overly hardcore things about this mod. It would be nice to teach people in a gentler way this principle of like, oh look, like if you walk backwards, then you get the ring back, even if you didn't go there and pick it up.
Well,
so there's that.
It's a little forgivable just because you can skip the puzzle and come back to it, which I'm sure I did. This is one of those hard ones.
So now here's another classic, right? We're trying to slow down this guy because, you know, obviously he's in the way and he like claps at hyper speed. So you might think like, well, we're gonna put it right here because that's the closest that we can get to him. But of course, there's no good to have it right there. He's already up. Then there's no, you can't affect where he's gonna be. You got to start thinking using that world 4 x equals t logic. You have to place it to the left and thus earlier in time, so that it has a chance to slow him down, and so that he can actually be down during that crucial time period where you will be intersecting with him. Yeah. So you gotta place everything. You have to always place the ring to the left of the things that you want to affect. And this is just kind of a crazy. This is, remember, the two slotted pieces that meet together. This is just this funny thing where you can just kind of squeeze in there in this way that's like weirdly irreversible. Like this bops you down, and then you're kind of
you can't get
stuck.
any further to the right.
And then it further like bops you out, and then you can't get back in there. So it's just like, okay, now I'm screwed forever. And it'd be great if I could like jump on top to get out. So the secret to that is a similar kind of ring move, except that curiously there doesn't seem to be anywhere, like there's nowhere on this platform that I can put the ring. Maybe that works. Placing it way far back.
A little closer.
Oh, okay, it works. It works.
Okay.
All right, so I can go forward, and then I can just rewind to get out of there.
So it's a green puzzle again.
Yeah.
So is that as intended, or?
Yeah, I think that works fine. You can do this funny thing in World 4 where you can place the ring and then grab it back a little bit later, and then place it again and grab it back a little bit later, and that can help you to get a little bit of extra oomph. Like, look at how much lower that is than previously. No problem jumping onto it. So, but that's not, I mean, you know, there's nothing special about that technique. Oh, I gotta rewind past the whole, or maybe I can just slow it. So,
A little bit more, yeah, right.
Oh, it's slowing him up too much. Oh, that's funny. I was just rewound out of this.
Yeah,
Slowing
this
up
doesn't make much
too much.
sense.
See, because without this, he goes down for a second clap right there. So, there we go. All right. But we should be able to do it by placing it so far back.
I think what happened is you slowed him. No, because you'd be undoing it every time you went further.
Oh, except he would still clap up at super speed. Okay, but there you go. You can place the ring that far back, and it does slow him down that little smidge. But you got to place it up here in order to actually have a hope. Kind of annoying. There's this ledge here. All right, let's get our ring back. We don't have to rewind. We can just go through. Okay. So that is one puzzle in the bag.
Okay, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, this is your classic. There's several versions of this in Braid, and this is another. Except that these guys just die 100% of the time to that guy.
So don't affect the Goomba.
You just gotta slow that down enough for him to get across. Except, oh no,
yeah, that's not gonna.
He doesn't make it to the key, you know. So maybe we have to slow it down and then take it and then slow it down again, and do this in some way that we can.
I don't think that'll have any effect because he made it past before. Like, what are you hoping to accomplish here? You want him to go faster.
Yeah. I think there's an additional trick that can be gained by. Is it possible? I thought you could I thought there was another kill yourself and throw yourself off screen.
No.
Right,
I think what it is you slow down the cannon and running from backwards or
No, because you go back.
No, because if you go back, you pick it up.
You gotta wait for the second one. No, it's gotta be this guy.
What if it's a future? Like, go further. Like that guy.
I have no way to affect that because my ring is so far back here. It's gotta be.
Gotta be moving forward.
There we go. Okay, so this is maybe the one that requires you to like slam the ring.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Alright. Now, funny thing, it's like, okay, but it still doesn't work. Like, he doesn't even bounce that. You know, how could I ever, if I come back here, then he's just gonna be like way back there. But of course the trick now, you can just die to this guy. It's fine. Heal his physics its way down. Alright, so now, remember there's still World 4 going on, so we can't fall for that old Joe Blow trick of going in the wrong way. Although it may be tempting, or is it even possible? I don't think so. I don't think there's even a really way to get up there. But... Oh, well of course there is if we slow him down a little bit, right? So we can hop on this Goomba, but that's a non-starter because the key up there would be useless.
You'd be walking back in time. Yeah.
And there's no point trying to slow down the ones behind me. You know, we could try and slow this guy down ahead of me. Maybe. Let's see.
Not quite.
Maybe. There might be multiple ways to do this. Alternatively, this guy is a nice little guy, but he gets eaten by the rabbit. So I wonder if we could get rid of that rabbit earlier. He might be just a ticket. Oops.
That's the first guy.
There we go. Okay, rabbit out of the picture.
Goomba. Well, you want him though. What do you want him?
I know. I'm just trying to.
Are you trying to escape?
See, I should be able to bounce off him, but only ever backwards and do like fancy air control things.
Yeah.
But maybe it just can't be done. Alright, so I don't know. In order to get back there and kill the bunny, then we've got to... Oh, wait a second. I'm a total idiot. We can just walk back there and bring it back. Just walking right on by. There he is. Get that ring back in case it comes in handy. Alright, now we got our faithful Goomba. This still isn't gonna work out though.
Yeah, speed him up.
No, not gonna work out. Alright, so it's gotta be slowing down the main guy.
Come back!
Okay. There we go. So anyways, the puzzles get a little bit convoluted in this stage with all these overlapping things, like I was saying in the text. And now it's about to get even worse.
Agile companion.
Oh, I think maybe the original, or maybe I didn't have a fragile companion in World 4. Okay, agile companion. This one is a bit of a mess. So it's World 4. Everyone's here. As they say in Smash Brothers, we have the parallel universes, we've got the ring,
shadows.
Yeah, we've got everything. So, and it's kind of brutal, especially because the key behavior is like really glitchy. So we will see if I can manage this. This involves just placing the ring. That's easy enough.
Okay, there's a ball in front of you.
Okay, but now, okay, so now we can course, we don't pick up the ring while running this way. So, and that's going to be crucial because this whole thing involves running it backwards past a bunch of fireballs. Even just one step back to the left, then it undoes all of our progress. So what we need to do here is basically...
Oh, if you run forward though.
Oh, so this is tricky. So with this all right, so I'm gonna place that ring. Wait on. Okay.
Yeah, this worked fine.
I'm gonna charge forward, place the ring. But maybe this is, in a sense, not so bad.
You're making this probably too complicated. You just need to be standing where the fireballs won't be an issue.
So you may have noticed a recording edit because this level is such a freaking nightmare that it took us like an hour playing around to just remember how this one works, and then the other ones are only a smidge easier. So Janina, you've had some practice figuring out this level. Do you want to
Oh no.
go through
Okay,
and...
this is like I tried to like figure out how it worked, and that took like another hour. And yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my best to explain everything. So first of all,
oh, and notably we have all the time powers.
Yeah, so
everyone
we
is
have the
here for the first
ring.
time.
We can walk back and forth, which, as you notice, automatically picks up the ring because they walked back before I set the ring down. And then there's also Shadow Tomb, which has just normal time, which is like just proceeding. Alright,
So you can carry that key up there backwards, just like in the Fickle Companion level.
Yeah, exactly. There's also weirdness with like trying to pass the key around, but essentially the solution to this puzzle is like, first of all, this stuff is in the way. You can like try to run it. No, you can't do that. So you put the ring down, and this is required for the next one as well. And I can pick the ring up by going back. Okay, cool. Do the same thing. This is also easy. But then you get up here, and you don't even need the ring, so that's even easier. But then, now you need to bring the key down. So, let's see, do I need the ring here? I don't need the ring here. What I need is Shadow Tomb. So, okay, so the important thing here is that I only have this timeline that I'm walking back and forth, and I only have this tiny amount of X to go with, because I need to go down the ladders. And if I ever step back before I did something, then it undoes completely. That is the thing that you need to understand for this particular level. So, sorry, I don't need to do that. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to record Shadow Tim doing his thing, and he's going to get hit with fireballs, but that's okay. He'll like try to bring the key down there. That's all I need from him. So I'm going to go back to where right here, the farthest. That's the important thing. I have to start the recording at a certain location. Okay, you dropped it there. That's fine. I can run down there. No problemo. And so I'm going to do the other half of this recording just starting from here. So I go up, grab the key,
Nice.
bring it down here. Oop, I went a little too far. But hopefully that'll be okay. Yeah, it should be okay. The Shadow Tim can go past.
Okay.
Alright, okay. Alright, so this is going to be a bit of an issue. Where I did my previously... I think, did he get hit by a Shadow Fireball, or did he get hit by
I bet you could
this
step back a
fireball?
smidge before...
Yeah,
that's a
so I
smidge too far.
recorded here, which, yeah, that's just going to be how it is. He's just going to have to send a new one.
Yeah, there you go. Oh.
Okay.
There you
Whatever.
go. Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is the furthest I can go. So I'm going to stand here so that Shadow Tim can pick it up. But like, I can record from that spot. So Shadow Tim gets it, comes back here and drops it off me. I'm going to go back to where I start the recording. And I'm going to step forward so you can get the key. Nice, good job, Tim. Okay,
Nice.
so now we have this awkward issue where I'm holding the key. And Shadow Tim can't get the key from me, which is really annoying. unless
Oh,
I
right, 'cause you
start
can't
my
carry it backwards.
recording facing backwards. So I need to step forward so I don't undo holding the key, and then step backwards so I'm not
Yes,
holding
so you
the
let it
key.
go a la in Fickle Companion.
Now, Shadowton can pick up the key and continue on his merry way. Unfortunately, well, that doesn't matter. Shadowton doesn't have the same issues I do, I don't think. But I'm gonna need to put the ring down in order to travel downwards. Okay, well, that's not very successful this time. But I think it doesn't really matter because Shadowton can just get it from below as long as I don't walk too far backwards, which I might have set the ring down.
That's
Too close. Okay. Hold on. Do that again. Set the ring down here. Oh, cool. Thank you, Shadow Tim. That was very helpful. Alright, so go here, pick up the ring,
Wow.
but don't pick up the key. Great, so I've stepped forward this far sequentially doing all these things. Alright.
Lol.
That's gonna be a problem. I should have picked up the ring. Let's go back where I picked up the ring. Great. Pick this up. Shadow's probably gonna die there, but it's okay. Get it. Okay, good job.
Nice.
Alright. Pick up the key. Shit. No.
Just rewind a smidge.
But I need the ring.
Oh.
Crap. Yes, okay, sorry. I remember this also troubled me the last time. I need to set the ring down. Oops. About here.
About there? No, just put it. Just get it each time and set it on the lower levels. There's no reason for you to leave it up there. You're gonna need it.
Well, I
eventually.
need to leave it up there and
Oh,
get down.
okay.
Remember?
Yeah, alright.
Yep.
Maybe.
So we're just gonna redo that. Okay, cool, great. Alright, so now I have the ring and I'm down here. Perfect. Okay. Hopefully this works how I want.
You gotta lay the ring down. Right there.
Oh, just on the low?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's nice.
Step forward.
No, he doesn't care about that. He only cares about shadows.
Alright. And I love how you can take it multiple times.
Yeah, as
With
long
Shadow
as I
Tim
pay
dodging
attention to
different
where
fireballs each time, yeah.
Alright, well this was less bad last time, but I think that's because I wasn't using the ring last time. So Shadow Tim probably doesn't need
That's funny.
Okay, this is gonna be a problem because Shadow Tim dropped it off before I can pick it up.
That's funny.
But that's okay, because Shadow Tim can also come and bring it forward for me. Thank you, Shadow Tim.
Wonderful.
Okay. Sorry. I need to actually pick up the... There we go. Alright, and we're just gonna keep doing that.
No, you need to leave the ring now.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you can place it again further on, but...
Yeah. That's probably a little too unusual.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, just leave it there. Sorry.
But then the ring, I have to step back to pick up the ring.
That's
like,
okay. Who cares? Who cares?
here.
No, you don't need the ring.
If I step back that far to get the ring, then it undoes where the key is and undoes where the ring
Right.
is.
Yeah, I'm saying just leave it right there where you're standing right now.
No.
Rewind a little bit. Leave it right there, yeah. What's the problem with this?
Because if I step back to retrieve the ring...
No, you don't need to retrieve it. It's a game over.
Fine, look, fine. I just thought maybe I would need it for the next step, and I wanted to have it available.
Yeah. No, certainly you could get it through, because we did the whole level above. In fact, the idea that this has 3 levels just makes it so much worse.
Sorry, I'm still rewinding to go back to It's funny, the shadow world doesn't have the ring placed down because I haven't recorded the ring being placed down yet, hence all the shadow things going by.
Yeah.
Even though that's not actually going to be true.
Yep.
Slow down.
Nice.
Alright, so now I just go back here, and I'm still stepping forward in time, not going that far back. Shadow can get it, pop it off, but I'm actually going to go all the way over here and get the key, or get the puzzle piece.
Yeah, so as you can see, we
And
already
this is so
unlocked this
funny.
puzzle piece earlier.
Yes. And this is so funny because Shadow Tim's like going back in time, like before all of this crap happened.
Yeah.
He's able to go back there. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But Shadow Tim can do it. Whereas for me, this is what happened.
Yeah.
So I like
Yeah.
pick up the key here. Oh yeah, I guess I got
Classic World
time.
4 having 100% of the
Yeah.
events happen in like 15
Key,
pixels of
key, ring,
steps.
key, ring, key, ring,
Yeah,
key,
yeah,
key.
yeah.
So that's how you solve that puzzle.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
But the worst thing about this puzzle, I think, is that I'm gonna just rewind all this. If
This scenario.
we already got this puzzle, but it's not glowing green. So if you, the player, like step back over here, then the puzzle also becomes ungotten.
Fortunately, we have rewinding.
Yeah,
everything that we've done.
Yeah.
But we also have stepping
Still,
back and
kind of.
forth. Then we have Shadow doing his thing. It's just
So anyways, this is the
There's
most brutal
4 or
puzzle
5
and more now than
timelines.
ever by a lot, and that's how it's done, people.
Yeah.
Alright, this we're gonna make these ones seem like a piece of cake. Alright, so this one, you remember that early one about with the ring that stops time completely and you're waiting for the Goombas to all bunch up? Well, it's the same strategy here, except, you know, you can't...
You have to be moving.
Yeah,
in
it's
order for
World
time to pass
4.
for the
Yeah,
Goombas.
it doesn't... You know, if time is standing still, and there's only one place where I can enter this, so there's no way for them to bunch up, right? Well, the trick is that, you know, with Shadow Tim doesn't have that problem. Look at that. That Shadow Ring, those Shadow Goombas, they're going to bunch up real nice. So, yeah. The way this is going to go, how it depends a little bit on... I think there's a trick where you can kill one of them.
Oh, is there more steps?
Yeah, because I think this guy ends up maybe being the most frustrating one. Anyways,
there you go.
So we'll see if we can do something like that, and then
make sure you don't go back to before he killed him.
Place the ring around here.
Start the shadow time.
Oh yeah, wait a second. So this will give me a little bit of a clue. That's actually necessary, having the bounce, because otherwise I'd walk forward like into all the Goomba madness. So let's see. I don't think that one is gonna work. Okay.
Oh, you're remembering like where the Goombas are gonna be. I see.
Boom. All right. Hopefully that'll work just right.
But doesn't Shadow Tim need to walk forward in order to get the puzzle piece?
What? Sorry. Yeah, he will. That's why I was walking forward at the end, but above ground.
Oh, I didn't realize you recorded that. Sorry, my bad.
See, I bounced right there, but he didn't bounce.
Nice.
Because the Goomba had moved. You know, it was in a different location. So anyways, there you go.
Puzzle piece got.
Puzzle piece achieved. Alright. Now I've got this one. Falling ladders are a lot of fun. They appear in the next level as well. So there we've got your ladder, except it's World 4. So now we've seen falling ladders here before. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm never getting on that ladder. It's literally not even on screen. But same trick, right? Shadow Tim, it just falls. And so so for Shadow Tim, we can do a bunch of great stuff. We could, you know, we could just try and oops. All right. I stepped before I hit the lever. So I got to start all of our recordings from before that crucial moment there. Yeah.
Okay. So.
All right. So something like that.
And then go
and then, you know, we could hope to climb this ladder in that fashion. It still records the inputs, even if you're just looking up. The Shadow Tim will know that you're pressing the up arrow and thus climbing upwards. Of course, that doesn't get him where we really want to be. Instead, we got to slow that ladder down so that we can catch the nice bounce of the ladder. So we're just going to put the ring down and then wait a little bit and then climb up and then go off and get the puzzle. Okay. The chances that this works on the first try are going to be very small. Actually, you know what? Sorry. We can just put the ring here first.
Yeah, that would be more
so then we can
easier to
see it in action.
Right, you can see the shadow falling. Yeah. Cool.
Let's actually switch that as early as we can.
Okay, right there. Here it comes. Get ready to hop on it. Jump. Nice.
Climb.
Oh, and it's totally up there. Got it.
All right.
Trust me.
There he goes.
Oh,
you got there.
No,
Okay.
Your little muscal do the exact same
thing.
All right,
wait. I gotta signal myself with a little jump.
Nice.
Climbing.
Jump over.
And off to the side.
Okay. Yeah. Wait for it. There it is. Okay. Perfectly calibrated. Nice.
Sweet. So that's just your friendly, everyday, triple time power enabled puzzles.
This is actually nice because, unlike previous shadow things where you're trying to coordinate with your shadow and you can't see what's going on, you can actually just watch it happen and like time your
I like the interaction of these a lot. I mean, the interaction of Shadow Tim and the ring is not anything crazy. And unfortunately, like, I don't know. So, but the fact that worlds, that Shadow Tim's world keeps rolling and doesn't do the x equals t mechanic enables these puzzles, and I don't know. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the final puzzle in the game, except for the end game, the final puzzle in World 6. Designed by myself.
This is already looking wild.
Is
fireballs coming
one of the most bananas things in the game. Yeah, so you just get hit by these fireballs right off the bat, right off the bat.
How is the ring gonna help you?
There's literally, if the ring was stopping time, if it was like slowing down time, you just be screwed. Notice we have the World 4 thing is still going on. We walk back and forth. Time goes back and forth. We no longer have Shadow Tim now. But check this out. Okay, so earlier we were changing the settings of time on the ring so that it would be stopping time entirely, speeding time up, filling the entire map with stopping time entirely, like in the movement quantified level, or just your regular old Braid slowing time down to 20%. But now, what happens if you make it a negative number? And the answer is there's like all kinds of glitchiness. But look at that. The ring expands. Time is like going negative in here. Sadly, like Tim doesn't switch to doing like the negative jumping that you see in World 1. But the fireballs, when they approach, they turn around, right? And then they hit that like balance point where time is like neither going forward nor going negative for them. So they go backwards. Look at that. It's coming at me. Boom, going backwards. But it'll only go yay far away, because and I can't pick up the ring because the World 4 thing. So this is like, there's not really coherent math to like how this is going on, and also World 4 is happening, and also Tim can still move around, and it's fine. Also, you'll note that the ring is continuously trying to fall through the floor because like
starting to fall every.
I think it's like the friction force. Like I think there's gravity in Braid, and then the platforms are like holding you up or something. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense.
Oh, so the platform instead of pulling it up is like
it's like pulling it into the ground or something crazy like that.
Okay.
So, anyways, with repeat application of the ring, we can hold off the forces of these fireballs, which is just wild to me. And then we play the same game with these Goombas. Like this, Oh, wait a second, sorry. I have to actually be holding the ring, so I gotta make sure not to leave it up there. Okay. So look at that. Whoosh,
Whoa!
little zip up there. Again, normally he's walking forwards, right?
So undo that.
But gets caught in that backwards time
warp
thing, which I think is
thing.
like 2x or something in order to expand the radius a little bit. That's why he goes so fast.
Just wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now we can run all the way back here. Now, why am I doing that? Okay, so like this would take. We got to get this key out. And this Goomba is just
going.
He's ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we can grab this key. All right. How do we? Did we already accomplish this puzzle? All right, so we have a falling ladder. We have this thing. We can open that. No worries about. You gotta. Yeah, no worries about approaching this from the right side.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah, falling ladder, but the ladder has already fallen. We need to find a way to slow down this ladder, but all I have is like this fucked up key that reverses time.
Pull it towards you.
So what are we gonna do? You know, this is it's pulling it up a little bit, but it's just not quite getting her done. We need the effect to be a little stronger, and the trick is that, you know, the ring has a strong effect right around here, but it gets weaker and it's smooth across the whole map, you know, like so over here there's like a tiny little pixel butterfly effect. Yeah, exactly, just a little bit. And so this was something that was also laid out in some of the earlier
walking back and forth. Yeah.
Well,
nice. Just keep pulling that ring.
Yeah.
Alright, you probably don't need to be that careful, right? It's gonna be there.
Oh, well. Alright, now we're getting close enough to it. We've slowed its fall.
That it's getting pulled into the ring harder.
So now it's in reverse time. And look at that. We can...
Almost.
Oh my god, is that not a real platform? You kidding me? Alright, let's see.
Just do a little more.
We can just... Oh yeah, you know what? I just won't... Yeah, this is good.
Oh,
Bam.
so you pulled it too hard. Okay.
Yeah. Bam. Alright, so that's how you deal with reverse time. There's only one of these puzzles because, like you saw, the ring was constantly falling through the floor. There are like all kinds of weird buggy interactions with this. But I don't know, I just think it's the coolest thing ever. Like a ring that reverses time. That's the this is what's sending the fireballs at us. Alright, but now, okay, I mean, in my mainstream videos about actual Braid, I'm talking all about the art style of World 6 and stuff, and I just appreciate this art here, people. We've got the castle, but remember, it's the World 4 mechanic, so we're going to blaze past that Goomba just like we did previously. It took you so long to get here. Look at this, there's the prince up there, gazing down at us.
Oh wow, I never... Did you put it there?
Yeah, I put him there. Yeah. We've got this like toxic, like radiation sun, you know, like a kind of alien sun, and it's the bridge from the beginning of Braid, and these little lamp posts from outside Tim's castle, but it's all lit by this kind of alien green light. And like in the very first opening scene of Braid, look at those buildings in the background. They're at a different plane. It has that like three-dimensionality. Sorry that the dinosaur is like chasing us. I wonder if can we get him out of here using the ring?
I don't think it works on dinosaurs.
There it goes. Oh yeah. So if you put the ring down on anything that's not like on like a certain kind of platform, then it'll just like skate ahead of you indefinitely, which is really dumb. But anyways, that's the kind of bugginess that it means this only has to be one level. But yeah, I don't know, I thought this was really cool. And then look, you run across the city, across the bridge, and then instead of going down some stairs, you go up some stairs, but it's also the shadow of the princess's house here, right? The mailbox. And Tim is like going into silhouette, which was so cool that I realized like I should have done it way earlier. But anyways, just like the beginning of the game when you're in silhouette. Sorry, I just love this shit. I'm just like tooting my own horn so much. But yeah, look at that.
Ooh,
oh man.
That's pretty.
Oh man. Yeah. In the princess's house here. With all of the objects that of course inspire, like this little statue is like the same shape as the statue of the boy from out here, I think.
What are you talking?
It seems similar. I guess the hand positions are different. Anyways, but there's all these other things. Okay, look. This thing right next to my silhouette is some of the shape of the foliage and the castle from the green world. World 3. Right here is a cannon, shooting the fireballs. I don't know why she would have that in her house, but whatever. A little bit of home security. Yeah. Here we've got like little bunnies and behind this curtain here.
Because there's the bunnies from World 1.
Yeah, and then here we have a little toy dinosaur and a toy Goomba. Anyways, yeah, and then it's World 4, so just gotta jump off there. So anyways, that is World 6 of Braid, or World -5 ring singularity in all its crazy multiple time worlds, impossible to solve puzzles glory. So join us next time on Braid More Now Than Ever Untangling It in order to see the spectacular and colorful ending to the game, which will probably require cheats for me to access because I don't think we have acquired all of the puzzle pieces in this game, but we have explained all of the puzzles. So that, and we actually got all of them for this one. But anyways, come back soon, and we will talk about the amazing ending to this game. It's
good. If you can tell from that last bit, it is really good.
Yeah, also coming up after talking about the ending, we will maybe, if I have time, do a video with like highlights from other mods. So like everything in More Now Than Ever, even though I've been joking about like how crazy some of this stuff is, it is only crazy by like from the perspective of someone who is like an obsessive Braid fan. Like to anyone else, these levels would be sort of indistinguishable / noticeably worse than the original Braid level, you know, but like the text, it seems similar and whatnot. The art style is like, some of the levels are nighttime, but whatever.
There's a green sun, but it's basically the same.
Yeah, in some of the other mods, things really go wild, and that one of the things that I loved about Braid was how it has this formality and it holds itself to these kind of rules of composition, and I wanted to add in all those other layers, more layers than ever, by sticking to those rules and kind of trying my hand at creating something similarly multifaceted and kind of like interconnected. But that meant leaving on the cutting room floor of this mod anthology like a bunch of really bananas puzzles with like way too many levers and like way too many doors and keys and stuff, or just like crazy beautiful art styles that have been like remixed with like totally wild combinations of Dave Hellman's art pieces and stuff like that. So you might get to some sort of a highlights reel of the other mods because there's some really great stuff out there if you're willing to just go nuts. But anyways, that's that. See you next week.